Okay, today we're going to solve multi-step equations. To solve a multi-step equation, we want to simplify each side of the equation if necessary. Then use inverse operations to isolate the variable. When you're solving an equation, you're actually working backwards and finding the value of the variable. So don't forget when you're working backwards, you're going to be doing your order of operations backwards. So here our original equation is 2 and 5/10 x minus 13 equals 2. In order to solve for x, I'm first going to get rid of any adding and subtracting that's in that problem. So I see a subtract 13. To get rid of that, I'm going to add 13 to both sides of the equation. Here it cancels out, and I'm left with 2 and 5/10 x. 2 plus 13 gives me 15. Now, to get x by itself, I'm going to do the opposite of multiplying by 2 and 5/10. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 and 5/10. 2.5 divided by 2.5 gives me 1x, or just x, and 15 divided by 2.5 is 6. So this is my solution, x equals 6. Now I can test my solution and make sure it's correct by plugging it back into the original problem. So I'm put my original problem over here, but instead of x, I have 6. So I have 2 and 5/10 times 6 minus 13. Now in this problem, I'm going to use order of operations to solve. I'm going to multiply first. 2 and 5/10 times 6 is 15, minus 13 gives me 2. Since this final answer matches the final answer I have here, I know that my solution, x equals 6, is correct. All right, let's take a look at another one. This time my problem is negative 12 equals 9x minus 6x plus 15. Now this problem I can do some simplifying in before I actually start to solve it. I've got two terms here with an x. So I can combine these like terms. 9x minus 6x will give me 3x. So now I have a simpler equation. Negative 12 equals 3x plus 15. So to solve for x, I'm first going to get rid of any adding or subtracting. So I'll get rid of this plus 15 by subtracting 15 from both sides. Here it cancels out. On this side, negative 12 minus 15 leaves me with negative 27. On this side, I have 3x. To get x by itself, I'm now going to divide each side by 3. Here it cancels out, and I'm left with 1x, or x. And negative 27 divided by 3 is negative 9. Now to test this solution, I'm going to plug it back into the original equation. So now I have 9 times negative 9 minus 6 times negative 9 plus 15. So the first thing I'm going to do is my multiplication problems, and I'll get negative 81 minus negative 54 plus 15. I changed this subtraction problem here to addition to make it a little easier to solve by doing add the opposite. Now I have negative 81 plus 54 plus 15. Negative 81 plus 54 gives me negative 27, plus 15 gives me negative 12. It's the same as the original answer, so I know that my solution, x equals negative 9, is correct. Now let's try a problem that we're going to solve two different ways. One way to solve this problem is to take this 2 and distribute it to my parentheses. If I do that, my new equation will be 2 minus 2x plus 3 equals negative 8. Now this problem can also be simplified before I start to solve. My constants 2 and 3 can be put together. 2 plus 3 is 5. So I have negative 2x plus 5 equals negative 8. Now I'm going to start to solve for x. First I'm going to get rid of the plus 5 by subtracting 5 from each side. And I'm left with negative 2x equals negative 13. My final step to get x by itself is to divide by negative 2. And I get x equals positive 6 and 5/10. Now another way to solve this same problem would be not to distribute, but to just work the order of operations backwards. So to do that, on this problem, I would first get rid of any adding or subtracting. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, and I'm left with 2 times the quantity 1 minus x equals negative 11. Now, to get rid of this 2, I'm going to divide each side by 2. So I'm left with the quantity 1 minus x equals negative 5.5. Now I'm going to get rid of this 1. I'm going to subtract 1 from each side. I'm left with negative x equals negative 6.5. And to make this just x, I can change it to its opposite, which is x. And my opposite here is positive 6.5. So 2 different ways to solve that problem. In both cases, we get an answer of x equals 6 5/10. All right, our last problem, we're going to use a multi-step equation to solve a real-world problem. So the school drama club is charging $4 per person for admission to their play. They've borrowed $400 in order to buy costumes and props for the play, and they're going to have to pay back their loan, and after doing so, they have a profit of $100. We want to know how many people attended their play. So if each person that is attending the play is paying $4, I'm going to have a variable for how many people attended the play. So I'm going to have P equal the number of people attending the play. Since each person is paying $4, I'm going to multiply 4 times P. Now they have to pay back their loan, so whatever profit they make, it's going to be reduced by $400. And they're left with 100. So to solve this, I'm first going to get rid of this subtract 400 by adding 400 to each side. So I'm left with 4p equals 500. Now to get p by itself, I'm going to divide each side by 4. And 500 divided by 4 gives me 125. So 125 people attended the play.